good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Yeah, and welcome today. Welcome to my stream. This is my weekend stream, as I do, on the weekend. I either, you know, it's either me painting, I have guest artists in, and sometimes I have drawing streams, sometimes I have other little different streams. I usually, have a stream on the weekend where I'm painting or drawing, or see me what I'm working on each week. And I discuss topics, whether it's with artists, with myself, or just sit there talking while I'm drawing. Kind of a thing, welcome today. Today I'm working on page 7, the last little parts of page 7. Now, with this stream, it was basically today just put together, and then I've just started, exporting it tonight. So I just talking over it right now as I speak. Unfortunately, it was a really close deadline for this one. I really needed to get this weekend done to get this page finished, and very, very close. I think there's a few tweaks there I need to do for this page. I don't think it's fully 100% finished. I think there's a little bit of tweaks there, but however, for this video, I have called it pretty much there, and that's the way it is, unfortunately. I'll be painting a little bit more, like, say, next year sometime for this page. I don't think I'll do, like, a video for it. Maybe I'm thinking about it. I could, have another part to this, have a fourth part, next year, some point. We'll see. I kind of want to go into a new painting or something like that. I'm not too sure. To the next page, but I could decide to kind of have a kind of a catch up on things on it. Maybe, possibly. It's a thought. It's not a full blown decision yet. But it could use another paint over, and also I'm not sure if I have enough content, because I need kind of at least an hour 40-ish minutes of actually recording painting time to kind of call it a video per se. I need that much video to be able to kind of speed it up to a 40-minute strip, so I can kind of talk over it. That's the way I make these videos. I usually, with these paintings, I usually have, like, say 2 hours at least, and I'd have like 3 sections or 3 parts to the video depending on how it goes. Yeah. So welcome. Today I'll be talking to you about my big project this year. This has been my big project, my children's books. My children's book here has been my biggest project this year. It has been the main focus of this year, basically. I have had other side projects and other things I've been doing alongside this. I've had other videos, my weekly tips. I've had all sorts of going-ons in the last year, but this year my main focus has been, or my main project has been, this one here, my children's book, based around this hedgehog. And it's definitely been a big project. I think I started it, I think, not last year. Was it the year before, possibly? Yeah, the year before, I kind of started it. Yeah, the year before that, I started it in like after August, I think. After October, August, somewhere around there, I started it, and that was just the gist of it. It was kind of getting the whole idea out there, the kind of the blank book of it. You know, the whole kind of story, the gist of it all. Some vague kind of story concept art stuff for it, then slowly taking that, and then I slowly produced kind of page one, and then slowly page two, and slowly go along, did some kind of side projects from there. But this year has definitely been more my main focus on it, because this year I've definitely pushed this project a little bit more forward, and I've gotten more done on it than any other year, kind of a thing. Because yeah, with for instance, like last year, I think I did take a break, and I did some other side projects. I think yeah, this year might have had a think I might have did a side project. I'm not 100% sure. Um, I think I've always just been painting on this book. Um, yeah, as far as I know, I could have. I think it might have been earlier this year. I had one or two other paintings. I don't think I did the. I might have done the pugs this year. Yeah, I think I might have. So the pugs, I did a little bit of a break actually. Where between, I think it was about March. Yeah, coming back to it, thinking about March, where I did kind of. I had kind of got to the end of my book, of this book, of doing my first kind of uh, final run, or what I called my final run. um, and I did a few kind of side project things, and then I got straight back into the book, starting again from page one. And I did a bit of page one, and I thought it was like, oh, I'm only gonna have like a few tweaks here and there. I'm not going. It's only gonna take me probably an hour per page to kind of fix it up. But then I delved into it a little bit longer, and it took me 2 or 3 weeks to actually finish page one, and then I kept on going, and same idea with page two, and I just had the same thing happen with every page. I was like, oh, really? So, it's kind of had more. It needed more time than I thought for this project, which is interesting. And one big thing that helped me is, I went to the virtual light box, and with one of the events, one of them was a guy creating his own children's book. He has the same kind of circumstances as me. He works a job, um, and he has a family, and then he gets roughly an hour and a half a night to 2 hours to work on his children's book every night. And with this project, it took him 2 or 3 years to really get from where he kind of started to get the ideas, um, to finishing it. And as well as also he had a lot going on with that, with also giving it to publishers, and then having it changed, and then having the story completely changed, and everything going on. So it's interesting to see that there are kind of projects that are like that do take quite a long time. Um, you know, some people think these things only take like maybe a month for you to actually produce these books, but yeah, in reality, they do take a long time, depending on how much you can work on it. Obviously, for me, I only have up to 2 hours a night actually painting and also doing some other things that need doing. I have been putting this book together slowly. I've dealt with the text and the story and text placement and um, everything else that goes along with creating the book, other than just the illustration. So, just 2 hours, and as well as, doing this YouTube channel as well. And that's been, a big project too. Working on this YouTube channel has been pretty good to do, pretty awesome to do this as well. That's another side project, and that's pretty cool. And it keeps me, it's kind of part of doing this book because it keeps me doing and creating it. Like I said before, how I've just had enough content to create this video. It keeps me pushing forward. If I didn't kind of have that, this channel needed, some of my recordings for this YouTube video channel thing. Um, I wouldn't kind of I push myself so much, I would probably lay back um, and be like, oh well, I didn't finish it, or um, it didn't get where I want to this week. Let's try next week, that kind of thing. But with this channel, it's like, well, we really want this YouTube video um, out, so I've got to really push 2 hours a night out at least, maybe a little bit more some nights. Some nights I do sit here to kind of 10:30, still painting along. So yeah, it does take a little bit more. Sometimes it's even like, well, why not wake up early and try get another hour done or something like that, so that I have enough recording time. I actually, surprised myself because, I looked at how much stream time I actually had for this video, and I thought I'd only just have 2 hours or have just under 2 hours, but I actually had nearly 3 hours. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, really? That's so awesome. And it's not, like I say, it's not every night with 2 hours. It's not actually me recording for 2 hours straight. If it was, I could produce a video every night. Enough content for me to stream every night. And I would really like to get to that stage where, I could just paint and record it for 2 hours straight, and you know and be able to do that every night. But it is challenging, after a long day, um, coming home and painting is not always what I want to do, and I do really enjoy it, and there are times where I do sit there and just can't wait to get home, and I get into painting. Chuck my music on, my beats on, and I'm just really going at it, and might get like 45 minutes one night of me completely kind of painting. But usually, I would have like a stretch, say a 20-30 minute stretch or something. Then I usually have like little bits and bobs. Sometimes I've got other things to do, like might have to kind of check my YouTube channel, make sure that's all ship and shape. All the videos that I'm going to be are going to be put on there, all kind of ready and exported and up on YouTube, or ready for to be placed on YouTube. There's a few things here and there that I do, as well as sometimes I don't want to work on this project. I want to do something different, like just draw something from reference or just have fun learning something new. So every now and again I'll do something different, like just drawing some humans or just drawing some animals. Yeah, so it's been interesting. One thing I'm going to be doing, which you'll see me do next week in the next coming videos, which is exciting and interesting, is a 90-minute challenge, which is interesting. It's a Bobby Chill thing. He does it on his channel. I'm not sure, if he kind of created it. I think he did it as far as I know. He just was like, do this 90-minute challenge because most people have kind of an hour and a half, 90 minutes to kind of kill to paint something. So therefore, it's or well, he had an hour and a half every day to do something. So he made the challenge of him doing something in the hour and a half. Which is interesting and to do as well to see that he did this in an hour and a half, and I'm amazed at not just what he's done with it, but seeing some of the other artists that he does. He looks at them on Instagram, on his YouTube channel. You see them on Instagram. I see them on Instagram as well if I look up 90-minute art challenge, or sometimes it comes up in my feed because the whole algorithm thing, and seeing other artists that do that kind of thing. You do they do sometimes come up on your radar and that kind of thing. So I do see them. It is interesting and really cool what they have done within an hour and a half, and it's kind of one of those things that shows you that, oh, I can produce this within an hour and a half. When you put a little bit of time restraint, it kind of shows you what your potential is, what you can really achieve. Um, you know, some people, you feel it's impressive when it says on some of their artworks, like years ago, I used to see some of the artworks and look at, if there was any thing on it that said how many, how long it took them. And some would be like 72 hours to create this thing, or 100 hours, or 300 hours or something like that to actually paint this thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, and some were only like 3 or 4 hours. And it's interesting to see, whether you feel that the thing that took 300 hours is actually better than the thing that took only, an hour and a half, 90 minutes. And sometimes, it doesn't, it's the other way around. Like the 90-minute one looks really, like, way better than the professional 300-hour one. So it's interesting to see, and I think it's going to be interesting when I do it because it will reinforce, what can I actually paint in an hour and a half? What can I actually produce? What can I actually do in an hour and a half of my time um, with doing the challenge? And I think it is going to be kind of a thing I might have to do a little bit to kind of fully understand it because, with doing that, you've got an hour and a half to do that. Um, Obviously, sometimes, you like, for instance, say you have to bake a cake. If you have to bake a cake, that can be challenging, and you just kind of take your time, and it turns out good. But suddenly, the next time you do it, you only have an hour and a half to do it. You've really got to kind of, yeah, you really got to push it and cut corners, and you know, if you cut too many corners, your cake, might not turn out too great at all, and it's like not even worth eating in the end, or it's not properly cooked, or so. With master chefs, they do that. They like, oh, you have to cook this within an hour and a half or 20 minutes or whatever it is. Um, and they end up completely failing. But if they kind of relaxed, sometimes if they just relaxed and just kind of did it, they don't worry about it. There isn't any time restraints per se. You're just at home, kind of baking your cake. Um, Sometimes you just produce something. It only took you an hour and a half, and you produce a really awesome cake. You didn't have any time restraints, but it only took you an hour and a half. You know, so having some time restraints, I feel, um, can kind of be challenging sometimes. Um, but if you use it to your advantage, like I do, kind of with my YouTube channel, I have to get, at least, 2 hours of this recorded a week, as well as finishing it, because I've got to finish a piece within 3 weeks. I can't just, have it keep on going, have kind of four parts, keep it going to even 5 parts. I could, but I'm sure, a lot of you would get bored after the kind of fourth, fifth of me painting this over and over again. Um, I even think 3 parts is, a bit much. It would be awesome if I could have a different painting each week on these YouTube videos. Would be awesome, to make it so much better, I reckon, because you'd have different subjects every week and so much going on. But with that, that's why I kind of do the weekly tips, because it gives I started it because I wanted to have a little bit of a shorter video for people to watch, just giving out little tips and tricks and things that they could use in their journey, that maybe also targeting a different audience, kind of people that want to see kind of quicker videos, that won't sit down and watch a whole 45-minute video, but they'll watch a 5 or 10-minute video, kind of that kind of demographic I was aiming for, and also to give a little bit more different variety, so it's only a shorter video, and it's something different each week, so it really is different and interesting. I learn something new each week with that. um, Draw something new with that. I'm drawing from reference and learning about all these animals that I'm drawing, and showing you how I kind of draw them. And yeah, it's interesting to do that, and it's been great to have that variety of subjects. And yeah, it's been really helpful too, because I can, with the references that I do get to draw, it's been helpful for, say, my weekly drawings, because I can explore much more than I usually do, and get better at it. Lately, though, I've just been focused on kind of drawing from reference, because I'm, drawing the stuff, which is quite imaginative. I do use reference if I need it to help me, but as you can see, there's like kind of no reference on the side. The reference is kind of in my head with the knowledge I know about the leaves and grass and all those things, and just painting along it, and because I have painted it over and over and over again each page, um, I kind of know this stuff and know how to paint it. Obviously, a little bit of differences I do add and those things, but it's definitely kind of the same thing. So that's been good to have a little bit of those weekly tips to have a kind of side project with this, so that I'm not too bored with just painting kind of the same thing over and over again. The same characters, the same kind of backgrounds, the same kind of or different scenes, but some similar and some of the same kind of thing. So drawing grass over and over again, well, painting grass over and over again. So I'm definitely when I start painting or paint another project that has grass in it, I think it'll be really good, or at least pretty good at drawing grass and some of these other things. Um, and I think I've leveled up as well. I go along this book thinking I'm finished, and then I come back and do a few tweaks, and suddenly I have so much more that I want to change and fix up and make it look way better. Some pages are better than others that I have achieved, and it depends on how relaxed I am. With this one, I haven't had a lot of time to just relax and keep painting it. But I will get some time. For this 90-minute challenge thingy, I have two. So, I'll be painting one thing for 90 minutes, a Christmas painting for 90 minutes. So that'll be my Christmas painting this year. This video isn't the kind of what be my New Year stream. It's just talking about this, my big project, this big project that I've had this year. It's been my main focus this year. It's been kind of, I'd say challenging, but it's been awesome to keep it going. I've really enjoyed seeing how it's going. I have the whole book together at the moment, and it's good to when I keep posting the new pages that I've finished on it, because I have all the pages there laid out, but the repainted versions, or the finished versions, I place in it as I go. So I've got probably 6 pages there, and it's cool to slowly see them like build up and see each page next to each other, looking really awesome and starting to really have some potential there. To be a good book. It's been great to see that build up slowly. It's awesome to have that, to have things slowly fall into place. You're working along, and things aren't going too great. Maybe it could be that you're not meeting deadlines, or it could be that characters or backgrounds aren't looking the way you want them to, or something is not going right. And then eventually, sometimes things just click into place and slowly come along, and it finally gets finished and polished, and it's way better than you thought in the end. Um, the key is, to keep going, keep pushing and keep pursuing it, keep trying, not giving up. Um, it's such a big project that it's like, am I getting anything done? Because it's been nearly a whole year, and again, I haven't like fully finished. I thought it, 6 months ago, and I said this probably 6 months ago as well, I would have had finished this book by now. Um, but I've only got so many hours, and also I'm not a robot either, a robot painter. I have to have breaks. I don't always feel like painting, and sometimes I don't have the solutions as well. Like for instance, here I'm painting the wood, and I'm like really trying to get it looking like wood and feeling, and I've forgotten how to paint it, or I'm just not in the mood for painting wood, or something like that. Um, excuse me. And yeah, that goes on. So yeah, but it's been an amazing year this year. I've had so many artists in that I have chatted to, that I have mentioned this project with, and talked about this project. Some been interested in what it's about, the story, and what I'm actually going to be doing with it. If I'm actually going to get it published, what my plans are for it, all those things. We've been able to discuss so many of those things. I've thought about possibly an ebook with it as well. It's a possibility that I could do. You know, it's just the matter of turning it into an ebook. That's the thing. But for now, I'm having fun kind of painting along and just trying to get it done. And also thinking about my next projects, and that's a big thing too. Um, you know, I've been, I would say, 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer. I got into that thing of that when I finish this project, um, which I thought would be much earlier. Um, what do I do then? Do I actually do side projects for a little bit and then go into another big project? Yeah, or go straight into the next big project, kind of a thing. How to smoothly kind of transition from the finish of this project to the next project. And that's always been um, kind of a challenging thing to do, um, especially with running kind of this YouTube channel over the years, and also just trying to keep myself painting and drawing all the time, well, as much as I can. Um, it's always been a challenging thing to keep a hold of, going from project to project, because with that, I have sometimes, like, I have, say, a month of me drawing or painting something, um, and then it's suddenly like, what do I paint now? And I've had times where I do that, I paint something and draw something, completely finish it, and then it takes me another week or two to actually get onto doing another kind of painting, and it's just to get to the start of another painting, um, where and that's kind of can be a good thing for some artists to have. But for me, I really wanted to make sure that I wasn't spending kind of too much time, um, just kind of thinking and deciding what to do next. So that's one good thing, about having kind of a big project, that I don't have to sit there and decide kind of what to do and what to create, and just, you know, but it is fun to spend, that time, do a when you finished a big project, to spend a little bit of time just playing around of what you want to do next, and draw some ideas, and then keep drawing and keep creating it. It's always fun to do that. Um, but yeah, if you're not good at a project, it can, stop, especially if you've got like a channel like mine. If you've got time that says to do, I haven't, got time for that per se, to not do something for 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, so, that's been good. But these days I don't have kind of that period, like a week or two, where I don't know what I'm painting, I don't know what I'm creating, because I just got so many ideas that I usually, pick the first idea that comes out of my head usually, and just go with that. And, it's kind of it's not for me. I don't, do something and then be like, nah, scratch that. I'm gonna do something else. Sometimes I do, if it's something really kind of odd. Like I've done that with weekly tips per se. I've done, say, 20 minutes of drawing something, and then I was like, no, I'm not doing this as a weekly tips video. Because one, it might have took me too long, or that I didn't feel confident enough in drawing it, or just something didn't click right with me for doing this as a weekly tips video. There is, been that kind of with those weekly tips has been that, so it's been good to have that too, because that has um, helped me kind of grow in that kind of aspect of kind of chopping and changing things, and when to let go of something and just you know completely scrap it. But I'd rather just see something through, see a painting through, like, say, my iron pug paintings, my pug paintings, see one through, and then go from there, go into a new idea. From there, finish the idea, then go for your next idea and flesh that out and finish that off. I'd rather do that than be like, get halfway through producing something and then scrap it, go to the next one, get halfway, scrap it, or put it to one side, then go to the next project. I'd rather kind of finish a project, then, continue on the next project. If that project didn't go too well, oh well, I learned from it. Um, you know, if this project that I'm doing right now doesn't turn out, you know, the way I expected or anything like that, which, I highly doubt, because, I've got so much there. Um, I might need to, at some stage, revisit like some of the pages, or something like that. Something, if, say, a publisher took interest and wanted and wasn't going to print it or something like that, um, for some reason, something needed to change, that could happen with it. Um, but I wouldn't say there's a fail, And even if it went nowhere, I have achieved creating a whole book of my own, writing the whole story, and and everything like that. So that's great to have behind my back, what I've done in the past, and they always say that, if a painting didn't turn out the way I wanted it, as long as I kind of got across my message or whatever I wanted out of it, um, that was a thumbs up for me. As always is a thumbs up. I created something really awesome. Um, and yeah, if the painting wasn't too bad, I've achieved what I want to achieve. If it was completely crappy, oh well, I might have learned something new, like how to paint. For instance, I did a painting of a political person. Um, I didn't think it was that good. I thought it was, yeah, okay, kind of a thing. But I learned that how to kind of draw kind of a person in a way. I still, or how to capture a character, kind of a thing. Obviously, I'm still learning in that aspect, but I definitely felt like I got a little bit of mileage on that kind of thing, on characters. And definitely that's a thing for this project, is that I've got some mileage on storytelling, using characters, posing characters, and a lot of things. So this here is kind of my final of my page 7. As you can see, for me at least, I think there's a few things, excuse me, a few things here that I would change, um, that I still got to kind of fix up a little bit. Some of the fur, on the bottom cat character there, some of the fur on Henry there, the leaves a little bit, a few things here and there, but other than that, I think it's pretty much there. So that's what I've left it as. All I've had time to do, but I think the other little tweaks will, definitely will. It won't be one of those things. Oh, it's only take me an hour. But it should only take me an hour, a couple of hours or something to kind of fix up um this painting, really, or these two paintings, 'cause it's kind of two paintings in a way. So yeah, thanks for joining me. If you did join me, this me talking to you and chatting to you about my project for this year, my main focus for this year. Let me know, down in the comments if you have you've had a main focus this year or main project this year, or if you had multiple projects, or if you have a project that you're working on now that's your main focus. Yeah, just let me know down in the comments. Any of those things, I'd be interested to learn a bit more. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Keep drawing, everyone. Keep creating, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.